She called me controlling because I checked the credit card statement. That's when I found the hotel charges. When I asked her, she laughed. You can't even satisfy me, what else am I supposed to do? I walked out. 3 days later, she found her car gone and her name removed from every account. Then she got the package. I don't know exactly when things started going wrong between me and Melanie. Maybe it was slow. A little shift here and there. A cold glance. Her turning her body away from me in bed. Fewer dinners together. Fewer laughs. But this isn't about a slow fade. This is about what happened when I checked a credit card statement and found out who she really was. We live in Augusta, Georgia. Been married 6 years. No kids, but we had plans. We were trying. Or at least I thought we were. I'm 38, she's 35. We met at a barbecue my buddy threw after a Falcons game. She was loud, pretty, and confident. I liked that about her. She liked that I was stable. Dependable. I didn't party. I didn't drink much. I showed up for work every single day. I own my own HVAC business. Nothing glamorous, but it pays well. I put in the hours, never missed a mortgage payment. Paid off my truck. Had a little savings. The American dream, right? So I didn't expect to be standing in my own kitchen at 7:30 on a random Tuesday night, holding a credit card bill with hotel charges that made no damn sense. 2 hotel charges. Hampton Inn and a Marriott. Days apart. Both during the middle of the day. I looked at the dates. I was at work those days. I remember them because one of the units we were installing caught fire from a faulty wire. I was on site all day. Sweating. Working. Earning. She was supposed to be working from home. So I asked, Hey Mel? What's this $187 charge from the Hampton Inn last Thursday? She didn't even flinch. Just looked up from her phone and blinked. What charge? This one right here. Thursday. Oh, she said, shrugging. I needed a break. I got a room for a night. I stared at her. A break from what? She rolled her eyes like I was the one being crazy. From you, from everything. You've been so uptight lately. Always asking about money, the house, schedules. It's exhausting. I paused. So you booked a hotel? Alone? Yeah, she said flatly, like it was the most normal thing in the world. Then I pulled the second statement out. And the Marriott? 2 days before that? She didn't even try to lie. Instead, she smirked. That wasn't alone. Something in me cracked right there. But I stayed still. I looked at her, waiting. She leaned back into the couch cushions, locked eyes with me, and said something I'll never forget. You can't even satisfy me. What else am I supposed to do? It wasn't just the words. It was how she said it. Like it was my fault she cheated. I didn't yell. I didn't throw anything. I didn't even cry. I just turned around, walked to the bedroom, grabbed my keys and left. I didn't say another word. I drove to my brother Jason's house. He lives just outside Martinez, in a small 2-bedroom house with his wife and their dog. I pulled into his driveway around 8:15. He took one look at me and opened the door without a word. Beer? He asked. I nodded. We sat outside on his back porch in silence for over an hour. I told him everything. Showed him the charges. Told him about what she said. Her face. The way she smiled when she said it. Jason didn't say much at first. He just listened. Then he asked, What are you gonna do? I didn't know yet. But that night, I couldn't sleep. I lay awake in Jason's guest room, staring at the ceiling, replaying everything. The little moments over the last year. The time she stayed, late, at the gym. The way she kept her phone face down. How she never initiated intimacy anymore. I saw it all now. All the signs. I just hadn't wanted to see them before. At 5 a.m., I got up and started writing a list. Mortgage, my name only? Her car, title in my name. Utilities, all under me. Joint account, 95% of deposits are mine. Business, sole owner. No shared assets. She didn't know it yet, but everything she depended on was tied to me. I called my lawyer that morning. Trent's a solid guy. Divorced himself, so he doesn't waste time with fluff. He listened, then said, "You want to hit back?" "Yes." "You sure?" "It's not cheap. Not easy. I don't care. I want her out. And I want her to feel it." He laughed once, low and short. "All right. Let's go." The next 3 days I got to work. Day 1, I took the spare key to her SUV and drove it to my buddy Rick's auto shop. Parked it in the back. Called insurance and had it suspended. Legally, the title was mine. No cosigner. Bought it with my money. She just drove it. I cleaned out the joint account. Transferred everything to a private account under my business. Left her with $14. That felt generous. Day 2, called every utility company. Power, gas, water, internet. All under my name. Cancelled all of it. Effective immediately. Filed for eviction. Since I owned the house and she was technically a guest, Trent said we had grounds. Day 3, sent the first package. Inside, a folder of printed credit card statements. I highlighted every hotel, spa, gym membership she hid from me. A screenshot from her iCloud. She forgot to log out of her iPad. One image showed her taking a mirror selfie at the Marriott. A guy was half-dressed in the background. He was lying on the bed. His tattoo visible on his left shoulder. A short note. "You wanted space. I gave you all of it. No car. No money. No power. No name. This is only the beginning." I didn't hear from her until the next day. She blew up my phone. 37 missed calls. Then came the texts. "What the hell is wrong with you? You're acting psycho. You can't do this to me. This is abuse. Call me now." Then silence for a few hours. Then the fake apologies started. "I'm sorry. I made a mistake. It didn't mean anything. I was lost. We were distant. Let's talk. Please." I blocked her number. She called Jason. He blocked her too. 2 days later, she showed up at my job site. She was shaking. Her hair was a mess. Makeup smeared like she hadn't slept. "You need to stop this," she said, eyes wild. "You're ruining my life." "No," I said calmly. "You ruined it. You can't just take everything from me." I stared at her. "I gave you everything. You gave it to someone else." Then I turned around and walked away while she stood there crying in front of my whole crew. I'm not done yet. There's more coming. More truth. More fallout. And more revenge. Next, I'll continue this with deeper conflict and another twist. You're not ready for what happens when I find out who the other guy really is. After she left the job site crying, I expected silence. Maybe she'd go crawl back to her mom's place or wherever she thought she could hide. But Melanie wasn't the type to take a loss quietly. That same night, around 11 p.m., my brother called me. "You up?" he asked. "Yeah. You need to see this." He sent me a link to a Facebook post. It was Melanie. She posted a long rant about me, calling me abusive, controlling, and emotionally manipulative. Said I left her with nothing. That I was punishing her for taking care of her mental health. And that I was a man who couldn't handle rejection. She even posted a blurry photo of me from 2 years ago at a barbecue, cropped to make it look like I was yelling at someone. Said I was always angry. That I threatened her. And that she had to escape. Over 100 comments. A lot of women chiming in, praising her for leaving a toxic man. A few mutual friends asked questions, and she ignored them. I stared at the screen, stunned. Then I felt something dark come over me. She wanted to turn this around. Paint me as the bad guy. Destroy my name to cover her own mess. But it was what she said in the comments that took it too far. One woman commented, "You're so strong. Was he cheating too?" And Melanie replied, "Yes. I caught him texting other women. That's why I left." That was a straight-up lie. I never cheated. Never flirted. Barely even noticed other women. I was tired all the time from work. All I wanted at the end of the day was to eat, maybe watch a little TV, and go to bed beside my wife. Now she was calling me an abuser and a cheater? No. This wasn't just about revenge anymore. This was about reputation. My business ran on word of mouth. A few bad rumors could kill everything I'd built. I called Trent first thing in the morning. "Can I sue her for defamation?" "Possibly. But we need to collect evidence." "Don't say anything online. Stay quiet. Let her dig her own grave." So that's what I did. I stayed quiet. I didn't respond. But I started preparing something. I had more photos. From her iCloud. I'd gone through everything on that old iPad. Not just selfies. Not just hotel photos. There were screenshots of texts between her and the guy. His name was Kian. And here's the twist, he wasn't just some random guy from the gym. He was one of my former clients. I fixed his AC unit last year. Gave him a discount because he said he was struggling financially. Even gave him a free checkup 6 months later. I remember him. Tall, cocky, full of fake charm. Melanie had met him once when he came by our house to drop off a thank you card. I thought nothing of it. I even shook the guy's hand. She started sleeping with someone who stood in my living room. My hands clenched just remembering it. I opened my laptop, found his name on a service invoice, and copied his address. He lived across the river in North Augusta, in a rented duplex. I didn't plan anything illegal. I'm not stupid. But I wanted to know who I was dealing with. I drove by his place late that evening. The porch light was on. 2 beer cans sat on the railing. His car, a beat-up red Charger, was parked out front with mismatched rims. I stayed in my truck parked across the street, just watching. After a few minutes I saw her. Melanie. Coming out of his front door. She was wearing one of my old hoodies. They laughed about something as she leaned into him and kissed his cheek. Then they both went back inside. I sat there in silence for almost an hour. Not angry. Just empty. All those years. All that work. She moved on in less than a week. Into the arms of a broke liar who I had once helped. I drove back to Jason's. Didn't say a word to him. Went straight to bed and stared at the ceiling again. I couldn't sleep. Next day, I went to work. But I didn't take any calls. I sat in the back of my truck during lunch and started building a file. Printed every photo, every screenshot. Organized everything into folders. Then I made a plan. This wasn't over. Melanie thought she'd moved on. Thought she could lie, cheat, slander my name, and get away with it. But she was about to find out who I really was. A week after the Facebook post, my business started taking hits. 2 clients canceled upcoming appointments without giving a reason. One of them had left a voicemail that said, "We're gonna go in a different direction." Nothing personal. But the tone told me everything. Someone had said something. And I was pretty sure I knew who. That's when I knew I had to go further. Melanie wasn't just sleeping with some loser. She was actively trying to ruin my reputation. Lie about me. Destroy everything I'd built because I caught her cheating. And when that wasn't enough, she wanted to flip the script and play the victim. So I started pushing back. Quietly. First, I hired a private investigator. A guy named Dan, recommended through a client of mine. Older guy. Gray hair. Sharp eyes. He'd been a cop once but left the force early. Said he liked working for people, not politics. I told him everything. Gave him Kian's address. Melanie's last known location. He didn't ask many questions. You want dirt? He said. I want facts, I replied. He smiled. You'll get both. Second, I met with my lawyer, Trent, again. He was already drafting the divorce petition and a defamation claim for Melanie's public lies. We had screenshots, timestamps, even old text messages where she said I was a great husband, just tired lately. We also found out she had opened 2 new credit cards in the last few weeks, under her own name. She was sinking. I smiled when Trent told me. Don't stop her, I said. Let her dig. The third twist? That came from Dan, 5 days later. He met me at a diner outside Augusta, slid into the booth like it was just another Tuesday. Wore an old Braves cap and carried a manila envelope. Your guy? He said. Kian? He's a mess. He handed me the file. Inside were pictures, reports, even surveillance shots. Turns out, Kian had a history of bouncing between women. He had a criminal record in South Carolina: assault, resisting arrest, unpaid child support. 3 different women had filed for temporary restraining orders against him. And here's the kicker: Melanie wasn't the only woman he was seeing. Dan had followed him to another woman's apartment 2 nights ago. Stayed there all night. Left early the next morning. So she wasn't just with a loser. She was with a cheating loser, who also had a violent past. I sat there flipping through the photos in that diner booth, quietly drinking my coffee while something inside me hardened. She traded a man who built a life with her for that. That night I emailed her. It was the first time I reached out since walking out. Subject: thought you should know message. He's not even loyal to you. I was going to stay silent. But you lied about me publicly. You called me abusive and a cheater. You hurt my business. So now we're done playing nice. You'll hear from my lawyer soon. And I suggest you check who else Kian's been sleeping with. I've got the proof. P.S. might want to get tested. Did I feel petty writing it? No. I felt calm. The next morning, she called from a number I didn't recognize. I answered. She was crying. You're having me followed now? She screamed. You're insane. I stayed silent. You're ruining my life. Is that what you want? You already ruined it. I'm just putting it back in order. Then she started begging. I didn't mean to hurt you. We were unhappy. I made a mistake. A mistake is 1 hotel room. You made a lifestyle out of it. She got quiet. I can't live like this, she whispered. Please. I hung up. But she didn't stop. She came to my work again 2 days later. I had just finished a duct repair job when she pulled up in a rideshare car, because she still didn't have her SUV. She was thinner. Pale. Hair tied back sloppily. No makeup. I'm sorry, she said the second I got close. I'm scared. He's not who I thought. Why are you telling me this? I asked, not looking at her. I think he might hurt me, she said quietly. He got angry last night. Threw a glass at the wall. I didn't react. Maybe you should call the cops, I said. I don't know what to do, she whispered. That's not my problem anymore. She looked at me, eyes full of panic. But I meant what I said. Let her feel it. Later that night, I got another report from Dan. Melanie had shown up at Kian's place unannounced. They fought in the front yard. Neighbors called the cops. He shoved her. Nothing serious, but it was logged. And now, Melanie had left his place. She had nowhere to go. No car. No money. No job. She quit hers after saying she needed a fresh start. No apartment. She was being evicted from my house. And she'd burned every bridge. Every one, except mine. She thought maybe she could come crawling back. But I had one more move left. And when I made it, she wouldn't just regret cheating. She'd regret ever underestimating me. After the scene outside Kian's place, I knew she was crumbling. I could have walked away then, left her to clean up the mess. But I didn't. Because I wasn't just after payback anymore. I wanted her to feel it. Deep. The way I did when she smirked in my face and told me I couldn't satisfy her. The way she acted like I was the problem, like I was disposable. I still had one last move. One final hit. And it started with that package. The final package, I sent it through priority mail. Overnight. Signed delivery. Inside. A full printed report from Dan, the private investigator. Photos of her and Kian. Screenshots of his record. Photos of Kian leaving another woman's apartment. Timestamped. The court summons. The lawsuit for defamation. With attachments, every screenshot of her Facebook post, her public lies, and copies of her texts praising me from just weeks before. A printed check. Not real, just a fake one. Made out to Kian D. Amount, $1,200 per month. Memo line, child support case #4476FMSC. A note below. You better get in line. You're not the first. The photo. The one she forgot was still on the iPad. Her in the hotel mirror, Kian in the background. Tacky, grainy, cheap. I circled her necklace, the one I gave her on our second anniversary. Underneath I wrote, "You wore this when you slept with him? Thought you'd want to remember." A key. The spare key to the SUV. Just the key. I'd already sold the car a week earlier. Under the key was a note. Too late. Just like your apology. The fallout, she didn't call me this time. She didn't show up. She went quiet. Like she finally understood it was over. That I didn't just walk away, I erased her. But that wasn't the end. A week later, my lawyer called. Melanie filed a response to the divorce petition. No contest. No alimony request. Nothing. Just a line that said, "Respondent waives all rights to property, assets, and support." She gave up. Turns out, after she got the package, she tried to stay at Kian's again. He told her to leave. When she didn't, he called the cops himself. Claimed she was harassing him. She got a warning from the police. 2 days later, he posted a photo on Instagram with another girl. That's when Melanie deleted all her socials. Everything vanished. She moved back in with her mother. I heard from a neighbor that she left the house crying, dragging 2 trash bags of clothes behind her, barefoot. No car. No suitcase. Just bags. Like a stranger packing up after squatting. But here's the final twist. I found out from a buddy, who works in property management, that she applied for an apartment downtown. Wrote my name on the application as a reference. I called the office and told them the truth. That she didn't live with me. That she didn't have a job. That she had no income. They denied the lease. She tried again with another complex. Same thing. I made sure every place she applied to knew exactly what she'd done. She started couch hopping. From what I heard, even her mom kicked her out after Melanie stole money from her purse to pay for a phone bill. She had nowhere to go. And Kian? Last I checked, he was back with his ex, and had posted about cutting off users and clout chasers. Perfect match, really? And me? I moved on. Took 2 months off work. Rebuilt my business name by meeting with clients in person, explaining everything. I was honest. A lot of them respected that. Most of them stayed. The rest? I didn't need them. Got back in the gym. Started eating right again. Spent more time with Jason and his wife. Relearned how to be alone without feeling bitter. And then one night, 3 months later, I saw her again. At a Walmart. She was walking out with a half-full shopping cart. Wearing old sweats. Hair tied up. She looked thinner. Tired. Worn out. And for the first time in years, she didn't have a phone in her hand. She saw me in the parking lot. We made eye contact. She didn't smile. She didn't wave. She didn't say a word. She just lowered her eyes and kept walking. And that was all I needed.